after the second half. But when you're forcing Chet Holmgren to take jumpers against Will Richard, when you're forcing these OKC drivers and slashers to settle for the jump shots, that's the kind of defense you want. That is exactly what completely derails their flow and takes the swagger out of their half-court offense. Great execution on defense for the Warriors. Third quarter, for sure.
Third quarter Warriors were really alive today here in this building. What I loved is that the Warriors, they were not rattled. I love that they took care of the ball, but most importantly, they got stops and ran. Look at this. Day hitting a big shot there, comes into the game. They're making plays. GP2 was huge this game. He made every play getting to the paint and creating shots for his teammates.
In that third quarter, the Warriors scored 44 points. That's the most points scored against OKC in the quarter this season. Heck, the Warriors scored 44 points in the entire first half. So they turned up the juice in that third quarter. They shot nearly 59% from the floor, 6 of 12 from the three-point line, Zena. And again, they out-rebounded it. But the key stat was just one turnover in that third frame.
Exactly. When you value the basketball, good things happen. And that's what you saw. Not only were they able to value that, and this was a huge shot with the go-ahead there at the end of the third, but when you value basketball, good things happen. They were able to just be able to capitalize on the speed with which they were playing. Before, OKC was dictating that first half. And even though the Warriors were in it, they were able to come back in that third because they dictated the pace.
And the Warriors went on that run in the third quarter after Draymond Green picked up his fourth foul. But he came back in to play inspired basketball. Seth Curry, we're going to talk about him in a second here. He was lights out. Look, he's had a chance to watch this offense for many, many years, watching his big bro. It was like he's been in the system for 15 years. He played excellent basketball. You look at the Warriors, have the lead right here with Pat Spencer, who tied a career high with 17 points. Whether or not he should have finished a game is a debate maybe for another day, but Pat Spencer's coming a long way here. I got to point at Chet Holmgren. You know what? I'm going to go Nikola Jokic on you. Dirk Nowitzki on you. Hit the fall-away jumper.
This is what you need in a game like against OKC. Fearlessness, swagger, ego. That's exactly what Pat Spencer played with, and he played with high IQ. He organized that team out there. And what you talked about, Festus, the paint touches, it was Pat Spencer galvanizing the team to get into the paint and kicking it out. So many opportunities came from Pat Spencer getting into the teeth of defense.
But it was just too much. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's the MVP for a reason. He went 5 of 6 from the three-point line tonight. We talked about his weaknesses. It's the three-point shot. Not tonight. Not this season.
You see the look on his face right now?
Oh, he wants it.
That's an MVP from last season that's playing like he got snobbed last year. Like what I've seen from Shai right now is a hunger. You saw he went 5 for 6 from the three-point line. He was getting to the paint at will. When the Warriors were making the run, he was the guy who got into the teeth of the defense, went on Pat Spencer, and scored and broke that run. Shai is a one-man wrecking crew right now, all across the NBA. When he scores 30 points in the night, that's a bad night for him. Tonight was a perfect example in crunch time.
38 points tonight, Zena. 38 points, as Fezzi mentioned, 5 of 6 from the three-point line. Just 4 assists and 3 rebounds. But he said, you know what? No Lou Dort, no Alex Caruso. Jalen Williams is trying to work himself back into shape. I will take this dance here at Chase Center, and he did a little bit of everything.
We know he can snake into the paint. He can snake around screens. He's one of the most creative shot creators in this league. He can score at all 3 levels. But what he did most importantly is what I told you, Bonte, that he would do in our pregame show. Clean up messes. When OKC could not find their outside shot, when they couldn't find their mid-range shot, it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that got things going on defense, got things sped up for the Warriors, and then found his shot again in that second half. This is why he's number 1 in points in the fourth quarter. He's number 1 in points in clutch time. He finishes things for OKC.
And he's also making some history here. Number 2 on the all-time list. This is how many straight games he scored at least 20 points.
Well,
he scored at least dub, Fezzi, in 94 consecutive games behind Wilt Chamberlain, who he just surpassed. Wilt Chamberlain's on this list twice.
Whenever you are, that's actually insane. Whenever you are on the list with Wilt, with MJ, with Kevin Durant, Oscar Robertson, you are in elite company. This is a basketball gods, basketball greats. The way Shai is playing right now, this is how the team is getting its swagger. He's coming on the floor. He's scoring at will. He's leading the charge on the defensive end. He's one of the leaders in steals on the team. I mean, all across the boards, he's filling in. But tonight was a perfect example of why this team is as good as it is. You're missing about 3 key players on your team. Isaiah Hartenstein. You're missing Lou Dort. So you're missing your defensive players and you're missing one of your key offensive guys in the big man. He says, no problem. I got you. 38 points. You can take that with you. 5 or 6 from the 3-point line.
Put it in your pocket.
Cena, you do a podcast on the NBA, and there's a lot of NBA fans who say it's tough to watch SGA. We watched SGA inside the Chase Center tonight from that tunnel. I had enjoy watching him. That's a great basketball player.
Unbelievable basketball player, unbelievable leader. We were watching him just be able to point out the offense, right? Had the ball in his hands and was putting things in order, but he's so buttery. And it was so funny because he had yellow shoes on tonight, and I was like, there's something about that. But he is so smooth just going into the paint. He gets to where he wants to get to. That's just what's so special about him, is that you have to find a way to stop him, but he has a counter move to your counter move to your counter move. And it doesn't do too much. He doesn't exert too much energy. He gets to his spots with ease, and then he gets up, and it's that face, right? It's the gestures, and his team is on the bench rallying him up, revving him up, and it's just fun to watch. And I love that they're a pack like that together.
Smooth like butter. SGA, no doubt about it.
Tom, whose hands do you want the ball in?
SGA, no doubt.
The ball in his hands. He's getting to the rim. He's shooting threes. And when Shai is shooting threes, when he starts to get that comfortable, then Oklahoma City is really tough
Shooting
to beat.
48, just under 48% last month.
That was his Achilles heel last year.
Right.
That's why I said he got better this season at getting to the spots that he wants to get to.
5 and 6 tonight. If he becomes a 3-level scorer, the MVP is basically his. I don't care what Nikola Jokic is doing out in Denver. It's going to be a hell of a race for the MVP award as well as the NBA championship in the Western Conference. However, Jimmy Butler looked a little tight in that second quarter, moving around very gingerly. Remember, he was questionable tonight with a glute contusion. Well, he did not play in the second half for the Golden State Warriors. And we thought, they could be in some serious trouble here. Jimmy just 2 of 7 from the floor. 6 points, but it was the left knee soreness. So this is another injury to monitor for the Golden State Warriors again. Jimmy Butler, left knee soreness, Desi.
That's a tough blow for the Warriors. Yet another injury, currently dealing with Steph. Now Jimmy, who is the guy that the Warriors are looking to lean on when Steph is out the game. So right now they're playing, that's a really tough look for the Warriors. Inspired basketball regardless, because losing Jimmy in the middle of the game right there, usually a team goes down. But what I loved and what I enjoyed seeing is those points in the paints that we were talking about that usually Jimmy is a leader of, they found it in a bunch of different ways. You saw GP2 make buckets, make plays for his teammates. I saw Seth Curry come into the game, hit some big shots. Draymond hit some big shots. The team really filled in for themselves. This is a team, you say what you want about moral victories, but if you lose your key guys and your bench comes in and plays the way they do, I feel like there was a step towards finding that identity that Steve Kerr's been looking for.
I feel like you're transmitting your thoughts right into my brain, because that's exactly what I was thinking. This is an opportunity for the Warriors to be able to look at their bench. This is not the end-all be-all. Guys, this is early in the season, okay? There's still three-fourths of the season to keep going. And this is where you find the guys that can step up, the guys that can make habits of being good off of the bench. We know that the Warriors have had a wonderful bench. They've been blessed with a wonderful bench these last few years. This year we're struggling a little bit, trying to find more consistency out of them. So this is an opportunity. We're not going to look at it as a positive that Jimmy is hurt, don't get me wrong. But if there's a silver lining, it is being able to find those guys to step up and step in.
You need them on this 4-game trip.